What's important is to realise that anyone can do it. Anyone can be part of this industry. I mean, you know, my background from school through to university is certainly not the academically brilliant best, but it proves that if you find the right opening and really do a hard, good job, you can find a space within the industry and stay within the industry for many years. I think that's really important for people to be able to see that it's not, you know, it's not a brick wall, and you can actually make an entry into this industry. I was very lucky. 20 odd years ago, I applied for an internship at various agencies, and luckily through an interview process I was taken on by a company called APA, which was Alan Pascoe Associates, which is now Fast Track essentially. So I did 3 months unpaid. They paid my train fare and my lunch, and I worked in their PR department, and it was an amazing experience. Got thrown in at the deep end, working on major athletics events, PR for the sponsors and running the press box. So I really got 3 months of an absolute baptism. And from that point, luckily enough, they offered me a full-time job. So that was how I started, and it was really a great break for me. In terms of what advice I would give, I think at the moment what's important is for people to really think about what is it they're adding to the job or the company that they go for an interview with. It's not enough to love sport, to have a passion for sport. That's just a given. Everybody's got that works in the industry. It's more thinking about what value do you add? What do you add to the bottom line? So if you want to work in PR, what are the story ideas that you've got? If you want to work in brand, you know, what's your above the line campaign idea? If you want to be digital, what's your big Twitter campaign going to look like? You've really got to look at it from a different perspective, not just about the sport and the action out on the court or the pitch, but really what are you as a person going to do to add value, and that will really make you stand out at the interview stage. What's inspired me is just to really be a part of moments of significance or moments of national importance. When you're lucky enough to work on things like Davis Cup finals, in the Olympics, you're really a part of something that people will have memories of for life. I mean, literally just standing outside the Stratford station this evening, I saw a guy walk past with his work pass, and on it was the lanyard from London 2012. You know, he's really taking that with him for the rest of his life. And so I was really inspired by working on those early events in athletics to really sort of be a part of something that really matters to so many people and that people have such an interest in. The best advice I ever got was really to, when you're at an event or you're working in the sports industry, to try and get an understanding of the whole industry. It's okay to specialise, to be a specialist in brand or TV broadcast or events, but you really need to understand how the rest of the industry works to really get the best out of you and out of your department. So again, if you're working in PR and you're working in media, you really need to understand how the athlete services work. You need to understand how broadcast works. You know, you need to understand how the ticketing works. You need to understand all those things. So it's not enough just to specialise in your area. If you have a wider range of skills and ability and knowledge, you can really add value. I think my proudest achievement is really just to be still around the industry, to be in and around and having had the chance to work on such amazing events. I mean, if you'd have told the 16-year-old Paul Smith that he would have worked at 3 Summer Olympics and 10 Davis Cup finals and NBA games in Europe with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, he would never have believed you. So I'm really proud of the fact that I've been a part of those things and actually use my skills and experience to the benefit of that event and the company I was working for. What's really important is to have the vision of what you're doing and be able to portray that to the people that are working within your business. My previous role for Cadbury, I worked for a guy called Norman Brodie. He really wasn't afraid to take risks, to really push the envelope on things that were happening in sponsorship and within FMCG marketing. And you take a few hits along the way. It's hard to persuade people that they want to do something new and something different, but I really think if somebody's got that vision and can bring people with them, take them with them on that journey, you're really going to get better results over time. Qualities you need, it is back to that vision really, to be a visionary, to see things that other people don't see, to really, if you're going to make a difference and push things forward, you've got to try things and do things that nobody else has done before. And I think that's one of the great things about London 2012 is that leadership group, you know, from Paul Dighton and Debbie Jevons, who's now the CEO of England Rugby 2015, they really went out to produce the best Olympic and Paralympic games ever. And everyone who worked for them or with them or around them took that vision on. So if you start from that premise, I think that's really, really what people want and what people want to follow. I think that's quite a simple one for me. That would be David Stern, Commissioner of the NBA for the last 30 years. He's about to retire in February next year. I was lucky enough when I worked for the NBA in London, it was a very small office. So when David Stern came to Europe or came to the UK, we really got one-on-one time with him as a young person working in the industry, you know, to actually talk to the person who really kind of invented the sports marketing world, or certainly revolutionised it. A person who understood his sport, or understands the sport incredibly well, the commercial aspects, the playing aspects, broke new ground with the internet, with the way they broadcast matches, with all-star games. It really was incredible, and the reaction to him of the general public, even in Europe at the time, in the 90s, he would get mobbed wherever he went. And he took it all in his stride. He was always asking questions about us and how we were doing. You know, really a guy who was the absolute leader in his field, but had the humility, you know, to still speak to everybody that worked in his organisation, and got that utmost respect for him.